Eurogold is driven by being the best civil engineering contractor in the Northwest, ensuring its clients are given the highest level of service that they deserve. Eurogold work in a wide range of industry sectors, including house building, highways, commercial and industrial build.
La Vita is an award-winning, independently run Italian restaurant. Located on Rose Lane in the heart of Liverpool, real Italian-style dishes, using the best ingredients, skillfully prepared by our chefs. Come and try our serious Italian experience.
Supreme Upholstery Limited is a manufacturer of quality bespoke upholstered furniture. Come along with your ideas for that perfect sofa to fit your home and let Supreme bring your ideas to fruition. We also offer a service to the contract market, including large hotel groups and small family-run business. No matter how large or how small your order, you will always get that personal service from our sales team. Come along and visit our showroom.
Hello and welcome to the Irish in the UK. This week we've got some very exciting news about the London Irish Centre. They have just received approval for their new redevelopment. We'll be speaking to Ellen Ryan, the CEO. Later in the show, Gerry Guthrie will be singing a song for us. But first up, we're off to St Finbarrs GAA Club in Coventry. It was a very special day for all the young boys and girls to get back playing football again. And the Lord Mayor of Coventry was there to get things underway. Lord Mayor, it was great to see you here today supporting the Gaelic games, and we actually saw you throwing the ball in there to start one of the games.
I did, and I didn't fall over, which was amazing, but I think they were hoping maybe I'd take a little slip, but I didn't.
No, you've done really well. Now, of course, in the City Council, you've also held many positions, haven't you, with health and social and culture?
Over the years, I've had responsibility for, as you say, health, culture, care. And for 3 years, I had the honour of leading the council when we applied for and successfully were awarded the City of Culture status. We're a city that's welcomed people from all over the world forever, really. And that's one of the reasons we became the City of Culture. We're a welcoming city. Now, 2014 was a special year for you because you actually received the honour of an OBE. Tell me about that. Well, it's very odd when you get an award because you don't know you're going to get it, for one thing, so it's a real surprise. And then you have to find out what you've got it for. And I am told it was for my service to local government, but especially in terms of domestic violence. It's been a passion of mine all my life. I don't like bullies, and people who hurt people weaker than themselves are bullies. Yeah. Now you've come along especially today, I believe, to speak to some of the people that's been really supporting the community here during the COVID-19. They're amazing people. This is an amazing club, St Finbarrs. Of course, when COVID struck, they wanted to know what they could do. And what they did was they gave their time, their energy, their money, and they collected donations, they organised themselves. And there are lots of people, especially children, who ate better than they would have done otherwise. I believe you've got some Irish connections as well. Oh, yes. It's sad to say I'm Coventry through and through, but I was lucky enough to marry 51 years ago Ray, my consort, who has a mother who was born in Belfast.
my eldest son, I got him into Gaelic, and he was playing for St Finbarrs, and then my youngest son got involved as well, and now I'm the under-9s manager, but I started them off at under-7s level, so quite a challenging task. It's not easy trying to coordinate lots of young 5 and 6-year-olds, but very enjoyable. They've really come on well since under-7s, you know, they've really developed as a team, and we've got lots of new players, some who were under-7s as well playing today, and also we've got some girls on board as well this season, which is great to see.
Now, I know that the Lord Mayor was here today to pay tribute to you all for the great work that you've done in the community during the COVID-19. I know that you were very much involved in heading up the food bank.
Yeah, absolutely. When the lockdown took place, being a teacher, I wanted to get involved and do something, and I was very fortunate that the head teacher at my school allowed me to, you know, use Fridays in order to help the community. So the idea was, you know, let's try and set up a food bank, a community service, because of these facilities, and because we were in lockdown and the club was closed, we were using the facilities, social distancing measures, in order to provide this service. So we really tapped into people who needed the service, and it wasn't just about providing for the vulnerable. You know, vulnerable wasn't just people who didn't have food, it was also people who wanted the attention. So it was also providing, you know, support to people. You know, people weren't seeing people for long periods of time, so it was providing that friendly face, a chat, and yeah, just a wave.
You're also heavily involved with the Lord Mayor's Peace Committee. Tell me about that.
Well, the Lord Mayor's Peace Committee's been going for many a years since the 1980s, and as a city of peace and reconciliation, it's an organisation that comes under the Lord Mayor's office to promote peace initiatives across the city. So we have a peace lecture, an annual peace lecture. We do lots of competitions. We have services at the cathedral, remembering events. So in August we look at remembering Hiroshima and the bombing of Hiroshima, just like Coventry was bombed in 1940. So coming up to the 80th anniversary of the Coventry Blitz, we'll be looking to put together some events for that.
I'm Declan Ryan. I'm 8 and I play for St Finbarrs.
I'm Seamus Lydon. I'm 10 years old and I've been playing for St Finbarrs since I was 7.
My name is Gethin Davis and I'm 9 years old, and we had a match today that was very stormy, but we enjoyed it and got some scores.
I've been involved with St Finbarrs for about 14 years. I first became involved, my son played for one of the football teams for 10 years. And basically when he left the club, I went on to run another team that's to do with the football. And a few months ago, I took on another role as club secretary. So I'm dealing with 16 teams, 34 managers and assistants, and 275 children at the last count. So it's all voluntary. I've been working from home since lockdown, the end of March. So working from home, I've actually managed to save 8-9 hours a week travelling time. So with the time that I've actually saved, I've decided to sort of juggle that time in helping with the football teams, etc., not just doing the administration. I'm actually heavily involved. I actually go out to matches, deal with discipline issues, etc. And also I've been involved with myself in the community work at St Finbarrs, which Stephen Davis organised at the end of March. I work full-time for a large organisation, the NFU, and basically my manager actually gave me a couple of hours downtime each Friday to invest in doing the community work, so dealing with the community in Holbrooks, collecting donations from different places like supermarkets, bakeries. So basically every Friday morning I spent at Finbarrs packing bags, but we were basically dealing with about 140 bags at some point. And the last couple of months, I actually did deliver some of the bags as well, just to help vulnerable people, elderly, families, you know, who couldn't get out or basically who were struggling in, you know, losing their jobs.
Stephen, you've had a really busy day here today. The rain has been pouring down, but it hasn't stopped you with the football.
No, it hasn't. We've just finished a under-13s match against Erringborough just now in these very poor conditions. Fair play to the lads. They wanted to carry on. You know, they had 4 quarters, and it was fantastic. It's great effort, and thank you to Erringborough for coming. Great atmosphere. They all played it in a great spirit, and that's what it's about. And you know, they're playing Gaelic football, and fair play to them all.
They all really enjoyed getting back out again, seeing their friends and having a game of football.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And what I have to say is credit to all the parents from Erringborough and Finbarrs who really just enjoy watching their daughter, if it's under 9s and sons, playing. Really being supportive to both clubs, bringing their children in this sort of weather. But yeah, great. And I think the most important thing about the whole of today is they're all playing with a smile. They're all enjoying it. You know, I think us as adults, we would be, oh, I'm not going to go out, you know, in that. But they loved it. So well done to everyone.
It was a special day for you as well because, of course, the Lord Mayor of Coventry was here. She was here to thank you all for the great work that you've done, you know, during the COVID-19 with your food bank.
She came and watched the Gaelic football, which was great, and she really enjoyed that by, you know, starting the game, throwing the ball in. But I think with her being a local person, she was brought up in this area. She just wanted to come down, thank everyone for what they were doing during lockdown with the care packages. She wanted to thank the volunteers, and she just wanted to just come down and get a feel. And I think the first thing that she said when she got out of the car was, "This is such a community club," and that's just a credit to everyone involved.
Of course, there's great history here at St Finbarrs down the years. Yeah,
there is. I mean, today, you know, they're playing Erringborough over in Holly Lane. They're playing in the hurling, you know, semi-finals, so that's fantastic. It's great that we've got the hurling off. You know, we've got Charlie, senior football manager, is doing a grand job there, and you know, we're going in the right direction, and it's great. It's great for Gaelic and Coventry, and it's great for Warwickshire, you know, and I think the next couple of years with the numbers we're getting with the juvenile section, it's only going to improve. I think us and Erringborough are leading the way along with St Brendan's as well.
St Finbarrs GAA is a great community club, and they have done so much in supporting the Irish community in Coventry during the lockdown. Now it's time for us to take a break, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Eurogold is driven by being the best civil engineering contractor in the Northwest, ensuring its clients are given the highest level of service that they deserve. Eurogold work in a wide range of industry sectors, including house building, highways, commercial and industrial build.
IJK's Scrap Metal, Manchester. We provide payment for scrap metal, removal and disposal of cars and abandoned vehicles. A weighbridge facility, authorised treatment facility, recycling and waste management. Full compliance with all legal requirements. IJK Scrap Metal Manchester, a friendly, professional and reliable service.
Supreme Upholstery Limited is a manufacturer of quality bespoke upholstered furniture. Come along with your ideas for that perfect sofa to fit your home and let Supreme bring your ideas to fruition. We also offer a service to the contract market, including large hotel groups and small family-run business. No matter how large or how small your order, you will always get that personal service from our sales team. Come along and visit our showroom.
The Warrington Irish Club, 83 Orford Lane, Warrington. A friendly and welcoming club keeping the Irish culture alive. We have Irish and country music every Saturday night. tribute nights, race nights, charity nights and karaoke. All live sports shown on the big screens. We have snooker, dominoes and crown green bowling teams along with arts and crafts. Pop in for a friendly welcome and to book your event at the Warrington Irish Club, give Frank a call.
La Vita is an award-winning, independently run Italian restaurant. Located on Rose Lane in the heart of Liverpool, real Italian-style dishes, using the best ingredients, skillfully prepared by our chefs. Come and try our serious Italian experience.
Buckhurst Plant Hire, operating nationwide and supplying equipment to the construction, civil engineering and utility industries. Buckhurst is synonymous with quality equipment and excellent service. Call us today.
IJK's Scrap Metal, Manchester. We provide payment for scrap metal, removal and disposal of cars and abandoned vehicles. A weighbridge facility, authorised treatment facility, recycling and waste management. Full compliance with all legal requirements. IJK Scrap Metal Manchester, a friendly, professional and reliable service.
Eurogold is driven by being the best civil engineering contractor in the Northwest, ensuring its clients are given the highest level of service that they deserve. Eurogold work in a wide range of industry sectors, including house building, highways, commercial and industrial build.
Do you want to work with the UK's leading trades and labour supplier? Danny Sullivan Group operate on the largest, most prestigious infrastructure projects across the UK, and you can be part of our dynamic team. Here at the Danny Sullivan Group, people are at the core of everything we do, and here's what they had to say.
A family-run business with family values.
Because it has a caring and respectful working environment.
Knowing I'm going home safely every day.
We are now recruiting, and you can register online today.
Welcome back. Now, the London Iris Centre has just received some very exciting news because they've got approval for their new redevelopment. Now, we're going to meet Ellen Ryan, the CEO, and she's going to tell us a lot more about it.
Hello everyone, I'm Ellen Ryan and I'm the CEO of the London Iris Centre.
Ellen, of course, here at the London Iris Centre, you've had wonderful news recently.
We have. We're absolutely delighted. We got full planning permission to rebuild our beautiful centre, and we got 5 years planning permission to do that.
Well, that's absolutely fabulous. And of course, you've got a big Iris Centre here already.
We do. We've had it. It's been here since the 1950s. It's had many iterations. You know, we've built onto it. We've changed it. The services have changed. The cultural offer has changed. But it's been here since the 50s, and we're very proud of that. And we're very proud that we're still here. And now the new centre and the plans for that gives us a chance to create the next iteration of the London Iris Centre.
So give us a little idea what this development is going to be like and what you intend to do.
Okay, so it involves a complete remodelling of the building because it's very old at the moment, it's quite dilapidated and it's not sustainable environmentally and it's costing lots of money. And then we have, of course, COVID-19 and all the new kind of what we see as long-term requirements around distancing and spacing as well as accessibility. So all of those will be addressed as part of the redevelopment. And basically we're going to end up with a beautiful new centre that I hope that the London Irish community and all those that identify with being Irish or just want to take part in our programmes will feel part of. So we're going to have enough space here to deliver our core charitable aims, you know, and to deliver our services within that. So continuing with all of the services that we already deliver. So a great offer for older people through a wonderful daycare centre, wonderful welfare advice services for people who need them. That could happen to any of us at any time. So we want to be here for everybody. support for younger people who are coming through. Our data analysis showed us that those are some of the people who are really struggling at the moment, and we see that as something that we really want to address into the future. Educational programs for young people coming through, for children, having the opportunity to learn to dance, to sing, to speak Irish. That's going to be a big part of it. And then we're going to also have the best cultural offer to match our community services. So everything from spoken word, literature, visual arts. And what we're intending as well is to have a wonderful heritage centre which will tell the story of the Irish that have come here through the ages, properly done, curated, and a space that people can come in and really hear what it's like to be Irish in London.
Now, I know that Dermot O'Leary is a big fan of the London Irish Centre. I know he's supported you a lot, but you've had some really big fundraising events.
We have, absolutely. We've had wonderful events that have been led often by Dermot, who's a massive supporter of ours, and Ed Sheeran. We had a really big event planned, a number of events planned for this year, which of course have all been affected by COVID.
Of course, your planning permission now gives you 5 years to actually get the centre up and get it all redeveloped and opened, of course, and that gives you a reasonable length of time, taking into consideration the problems we have with COVID-19 now.
Absolutely, we're absolutely delighted to get 5 years planning permission. That allows us to focus on what's really important now, which is delivering services to people who really need it right now and in this moment. And in COVID, we really pivoted and focused all of what we do really around reaching those people who are vulnerable, who live on their own, who are experiencing food poverty. So we will build all of those services over the next year in response to COVID, but also because we just are a very good charity. And then as we start to go into what we feel will be the recovery, it gives us a chance then to reach in and to really start to go for the building.
Of course, there's a mass amount of Irish, as you just mentioned here, in this area alone in Camden. And I know during the COVID-19, the lockdown and everything, you were extremely busy and you delivered a lot of hot meals, didn't you?
We did, absolutely. We worked with Camden Council. We offered to be the first food hub to receive food from the government for people who were sheltering. And we've got a fantastic relationship with Camden. A lot of Irish people live in Camden, they live in Islington as well, and all the surrounding boroughs. There's a high kind of proportion of Irish everywhere really here. So we're very pleased that we have those links, that we have those relationships. But in the COVID period, I'm very proud of the work of the London Irish Centre and our staff and volunteers, because we couldn't have done it without them. But we really put our shoulder to the wheel and reached out to those people who were desperately in need of support. So in that period of time, we delivered thousands and thousands of hot meals 3 times a week across London. We packed up food and distributed to people who were in need. We set up a health line, so we were able to talk to people who were worried about their symptoms or who had nobody to talk to really. So whether it was a kind of mental health issue or a physical issue, we talked to hundreds and hundreds of people. Sometimes that involved us having to call an ambulance or call relatives and alert them. We also really expanded. We've got a fantastic befriending service which is run by our volunteers, and they tend to be matched up with somebody in the community who really wants someone to talk to, who's very lonely and isolated. So we had about 20 of those before the pandemic, and we went up to 70, and they're still really active, and that's a brilliant service, and they're often young people, which is really interesting, who are matched with older people. And so we're just talking to some of them recently, and they really developed a great sense of intergenerational working. So the younger people ringing up the older people, checking in on them, but also finding out about aspects of their heritage and history that they had no idea about, and which they found really interesting, and which we're going to make into the story of the London Irish as we move forwards with our heritage project. So that's just been fantastic. Here in the Kennedy Hall, we received donations from food, clothes, all sorts of white goods, and we distributed them to anybody that needed. And our neighbours here in this area stepped in and became volunteer drivers and did visitations, became friends with people. It was just a wonderful community time at a time of great difficulty. I have to say I'm very proud of the Irish community they could not have done more for us.
Now, Ellen, it's been a pleasure to meet you today, but before we finish, I've got to find out, where is that accent from?
That accent is from North Kerry. I was born in North Kerry, went to university in Cork. That was in the 80s, and there was very little by way of jobs in Ireland at the time, so I'm one of those people that immigrated as well, came to London, and I've been here since, and I'm a proud Kerry woman, proud Irish woman, we're proud London Irish, and that's why I'm here at the London Irish Centre.
That's great news for the London Irish Centre, and also great news for the Irish community in London. We wish you all the very best of luck, and we hope it goes really well. Now it's time to join Gerry Guthrie, and he's going to be singing his song, There's a New Moon Over My Shoulder.
There's a new moon over my shoulder, and an old love still in my heart. I remember, now that I'm older, what you told me the day we had to part. You promised with the new moon you'd be coming back to me, but many moons have passed since then. I've waited patiently. There's a new moon over my shoulder, and an old love still in my heart. Now I'm wishing I had been bolder, then perhaps we would not be so far apart. You promised you would write me, but so far there's not a line. But still I wait and make believe someday you'll be mine. There's a new moon over my shoulder, and an old love still in my heart. You promised with the new moon you'd be coming back to me, but many moons have passed since then. I've waited patiently. There's a new moon over my shoulder, and an old love still in my heart. I remember, now that I'm older, what you told me the day we had to part. You promised with the new moon you'd be coming back to me, but many moons have passed since then. I've waited patiently. There's a new moon over my shoulder, and an old love still in my heart.
Thank you, Gerry. That's a lovely song, and we hope it won't be too long until we see you here in the UK. Now, Henry McGlade is coming up with his show next Thursday evening at 7 o'clock, and we are here with the Irish in the UK at 7:30. Until then, have a good week, and we'll see you next time.